So this story here from Football Insider around Matheus Cunha said that Matheus Cunha's preference and his want is to join Liverpool this summer. But there's also interest from Arsenal and Manchester United. But the player himself wants to come to Liverpool. I could see him in a Bobby Firmino type role for us. Now, hear me out. Sell Diogo Jota, sell Darwin Núñez, and bring in Cunha and Delap. Honestly, I'd take that. I'm going to ask everybody else via a poll, but I'd take that option right now. Let's say you got the money for Darwin and it more than, or pretty much covered Cunha's fee, let's say. And then you got 40 million pound for Jota and it covered Delap. I'm taking that. And I'm saying that that's realistic, good business that would allow us to spend proper money then. Right back, centre back, left back. For me, that would be a yes. But I'm going to ask you guys what you think. So would you trade Jota and Núñez for Cunha and Delap? Yay or nay? We'll let that poll run in the background for a while. So Cunha or Delap, don't think 20 million difference really. Both. If Delap is involved in any conversation for me, Paul, it has to be along with another attacker. I wouldn't feel comfortable if he was brought in to replace Darwin. But if you brought me him and Cunha, or him and Ketika, or him and Chesko, or him and AN other to replace Diogo Jota and Darwin, then I'm far more open to it, Paul. What about yourself? Let me know what you think. Delap with quality, homegrown player. Yeah, I'm probably not too far away from being internationally capped either, in all honesty. Philip McWilliams said, Delap has serious potential. I've said before, he reminds me of a young Harry Kane. He reminds me of a young Jamie Vardy, personally. His movement and the way he goes about it. He got that Jamie Vardy fighting spirit in him. And look, I'd be open to Delap at Liverpool, but not on his own. I would want another attacker brought in as well. Mukrab said, a lot of fans are being daft. We don't have 10 realistic options for strikers. We have 3. There isn't that many yet. You know, if you look around the world right now, realistically, we're probably talking Ketika, Cunha, Sesko, David. I can't really think. We could do Isak and the kid from Atleti, Julian Alvarez, but they're not realistic because clubs don't want to sell. So outside of those two, you know, there aren't really a whole host of options. Delap, again, another one being thrown in. Wesley, how are you, Wesley? Said, I rate them both. They each have their own talents and specialities. I'd make that swap. Cunha and Wirtz for the price of Isak. Would you take that? I would, but you're talking about a lot of clubs. So there's articles doing the rounds today, and I'm sure you've seen them, that say that Manchester City are looking at Florian Wirtz as an alternative to replace Kevin De Bruyne. They also mentioned the kid from Notts Forest as well, but realistically, I do think there's going to be a battle for Florian Wirtz's signature this summer. Now, can we finally rule Real Madrid out of that race? Well, they don't have space in attack, do they? So you've got to say yes, probably. So after that, Bayern will be in the mix, I'm sure. Manchester City will be there. But hand on heart, I've not seen Liverpool's name really mentioned with Florian Wirtz. Right, let's talk Diogo for a second. According to Empire of the Cop, Liverpool have set an asking price between, well, they say 50 and 55 million euro, so let's call it 40 and 45 million pound for Diogo Jota. The Portuguese striker has struggled with injury throughout his Liverpool career and has been sidelined throughout the Arne Slot debut season. It's said that Wolves, Aston Villa and Newcastle are all interested in the 28-year-old. They claim that Liverpool and Jota's former club Wolves are considering a loan move, although the Reds would prefer a permanent move. I'm going to say this for you. If Liverpool loan out Jota, they're idiots. Simple as that. How could we afford to loan out a 28-year-old striker when we're already looking for more strikers? If you want to sell him, I'm on board for that. But loaning him out would be the height of stupidity. But if somebody pays £45 million for Diogo Jota, honestly, I'm saying thank you for your service, Diogo. All the best, mate, moving forward. But that would be a number I think Liverpool should accept. He's 28, he's had injuries, and if you could trade him for a Delap, I think it's worth the punt. Would I rather Hugo or Cunha? So I don't know enough about Akitika to really have a fair answer. A month ago, maybe a bit longer, I'd have said no to Cunha, but then somebody pointed out to me the particular style of the way he plays number 9, and I watched them back with different eyes then, and I could see him in a Firmino-esque type role. But that type role would need wide, fast players out wide. to make use of some of that space that he could create. And again, the goal he scored against us was an impressive one as well for Wolves. Jason said, I just wonder why Arne has so little faith in Chiesa. He'll never admit to that, but his pecking order speaks louder than words. My guess, Jason, and of course it is a guess because I don't know the actual situation, is that he was an Edwards or Hughes signing and the manager's trying to make a point. And sometimes, like, I'm a really stubborn person in life, and sometimes I can absolutely cut my nose off to spite my face, and it's to my own detriment on occasion. So sometimes I'll back down, sometimes I won't. But in this situation, that's all I can think of, is that it was a signing that was not under Arne Slot's remit, and he's just refusing to play him. And I think it's wrong if that's the case, but either way, whatever the reason he's not playing, I think it's wrong. And I think most Liverpool fans feel that he deserves more of a chance, and at least looks hungry and determined when he does come on. Right, let's have a look at the poll. Have we got 1,000 votes yet? Yep, we have. So we asked, would you trade Diogo Jota and Darwin Núñez for Matheus Cunha and Liam Delap? And 78%, 77, 78, it's gone down to 77, said yes, that they would. And I would be in that 77% as well. I would swap those two for those two. So again, would you swap Jota Núñez for Cunha and Delap? Yes, 77%. No, 23%. Jeremy said we're at the point that Jota and Darwin have likely peaked. Jesus, if there was any Darwin peak there, then Jota's 28. So look, I do think 28 and starting to have injury concerns, or always having injury concerns throughout the season, I definitely think you could move him on if you got the right few quid in. Martin Aston, how are you, Martin? Said, I think Jota lacks pace and can't hold the ball up, and he has lost his shooting boots. So 100% I agree with you on the lack of pace and the lack of being able to hold the ball up. Also, he doesn't have the aerial prowess up top to be able to hold the line or do what we've needed, which is put balls in behind fullbacks and turn them. He doesn't have the pace for any of that. So that's why I've been very confused why we've been putting Jota and not Chiesa or somebody up top. It doesn't make sense to me. Jamie said, I don't think Delap is good enough for Liverpool, to be honest. Only a target forward, not much else. Well, the stats kind of don't back that up. 1 second. You probably remember this yesterday, Jamie, but only Isak and Haaland have better goal conversion rates than Delap this season. Delap's at 20%, Haaland's 21%, Isak's 29%. He averages more dribbles than both Isak and Haaland. He averages 3.7 dribbles and progressive runs at 2.25 more than both of them. So we think of him that way, but in a very, very poor Ipswich team, he's managed to get 10 or 11 Premier League goals and put up some fairly impressive stats. But look, I'd take him as part of a package of two forwards personally, but not on his own. Camavinga sent off as well. All good, Jay Muse. All good. Look, I would have initially thought of him as that kind of old-fashioned target man. As I've mentioned a few times, in that kind of Jamie Vardy role. But, he's got something about him. Delap. It'll be wherever he makes his next move to after Ipswich. It will be interesting to see quite what level he can get to.